organic tomato sauce is just a nice way of saying ketchup.
No, just kidding. Oh, are you recording this? I think you should. This is your best piece. I've heard it before. Do you want me to start again? Okay.
Sauce is just a nice way of saying ketchup. You think using ketchup is just a nice way of teaching our children about blood. We live in a society that's obsessed with smearing it on everything, and that's what you wear when we play dress up. You said, you see, I'm dead. You just don't usually notice it, and now I sit in a swing set made of broken branches in a playground of caskets, wondering how such a beautiful young girl ends up in a place like this, rocking myself back to comfort. I'm comfortable remembering you with a smile, but I guess we don't want to see the truth in the corn syrup when we watch horror movies and pretend that's not us. We pretend we don't know what fear means. We pretend we don't know how shame feels. We pretend that life stages has age limits, and at 13, a girl only plays dresses. There are tombstones made of dry tears here, and the wind in these parts whispers lullaby and skipping rope tunes. Right now, I'm sitting in a swing set made of broken branches in a playground of caskets, wondering how we let such a lonely girl end up in a place like this, a long night's sleepover for kids, the kind for which you won't need to pack a toothbrush. We'll make sure you're comfortable in silk lining and say we did the best we could by surviving. We don't want to play in this playground, but you're already at home here by the time you were found. I promise, from now on, I'll remind people we don't need to use so much goddamn ketchup, because little boys also play dress up, and it messes their head up when you tell them that G.I. Joe is good, but pointing guns at people is bad. It messes them up when you tell them to be a good father, but to be nothing like their dad. They were raised on your lessons of peace and grew up to be sent to Baghdad, and though so many end up in a place where the breeze whispers through the few trees, the ashes haven't suffocated, they've ended up with those who played the games they always hated. The games they were taught were outdated. Women play housewife, men bravely fight. But this fighting game is new to you, and they dare say they knew you before you were sent to the war. No, they didn't. Or they wouldn't have let you go. We'll hide away the corn syrup. We'll do our best to sweep the ashes. This playground is yours. Then there are the boys who play dress up with dresses, or the girls who thought G.I. Joe meant freedom, the one whose gender you only venture guesses at. They have their playgrounds too. I'll bet you there's one buried right next to you. Whether or not they're still standing, we all have our bindings, and we all end up in the same place. Yet it seems cemeteries these days are segregated. When I walk down the line and read their names, I wonder about their faces. I wonder if their father called them faggots. I wonder if their mother called them dykes. I wonder if they died happy. Knowing a lot of them hadn't gone to their two-wheelers. We've even children who are still riding their trikes. Tell me, how do we let people know they just can't afford to live like this? How do we forgive people whose best idea of parenting is best depicted with a fist? Fuck! Sorry. Your parenting is best depicted with a fist. Fuck. I think the rest is gone. That's not a new piece, and I've never forgotten the last.
When she shaves her head?
So there's a section before that.
That's cool.
Tell me, how do we let people know they just can't afford to live like this? That every time they hit these children and these bruises, they'll see well into their 20s when they've walked away from their tombstone. I'm sorry for the time your parents were two-stoned. Remember, they gave birth to a daughter, and when she shaves her head and wears leather, I still love her. Right now, I'm sitting in a swing set made of broken branches. There are caskets down there, but there's silk lining down there, but I know you're not in it. The faggots, the dykes, the depressed, and the children still riding their trikes. The ones who never made it back from the war, and some of the ones who did, only to find they couldn't live like this anymore. Those are the people the swing set is here for. The ones who didn't follow the rules when they were playing dress-up. But at least I know you're not anywhere near it. You're too busy teaching your children about ketchup.